Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing great. Well, we are finally at the third part of my three-part series that's called Fit for Your Purpose. I named it after my channel, and as we know, FIT is an acronym. I started the new year talking about being focused, which is the F in FIT, I, being intentional, which is the I, and FIT, and then T, today we're tackling the teachable. I'm so excited to talk about this because first of all, it's been hard for me to get this topic for some reason. And I think because I kept kind of coming around to the same thing that I just didn't feel like was like that moment that was actually going to help somebody in living out their purpose or being purposeful. It's just, I felt like it was like I wasn't saying anything that, somebody hadn't already heard. But I think I got it now. So being teachable, John Maxwell, if you don't know who he is, Google him so I can save my 10 minutes on here. But he talks about being teachable is an attitude. And I totally agree with that. So my question to you is, how is your attitude? How is your teachable attitude? Are you somebody who, I will say before I ask that question, many of us find ourselves in a position where we have to learn something, okay? If you work, you've had to learn how to do that job, right? Many of us have to learn how to parent. There's no manual, whether people think, there's a billion books on parenting, but really it's just kind of getting in the trenches and doing it, right? You have to learn, I'm going to use an example that all of us love, right? Everybody loves talking about relationships. When you are in a brand new relationship, it's wonderful. It's kind of honeymoon, phase in the beginning, and you just want to spend all your time with that person, and you miss them when they're not with you, and all of these things, right? But that's the time frame in the beginning where you're learning that person, right? You're being intentional, I hope, about learning what that person likes, what they don't like, whether they put gas in their car, whether they, just all kind of things about them, right? So you can be, we do it because we want that person to like us, and we do it because we like them, and we want it to be reciprocal. So there's reasons why we do all of that, right? So we're in the process of learning. The next step often, and it should be, is that you're listening to that person. You learn that person by listening to them. You learn the things that they say, the things that they don't say. So many times people will tell you who they are by the things that they actually don't say too, right? But here is where I think a lot of us kind of get in trouble long term, is we stop applying what we've learned, what we listened for and what we learned, we don't apply it. And I think the same thing is true in the grand scheme of life, right? Taking what we learned, we all are capable of being teachable, right? You have to ask yourself, you got to do a self-check and ask yourself, how teachable am I? And once you start figuring that out and having a real conversation with yourself, ask yourself, am I somebody who listens to other people? Do I take advice? Or do I kind of have a chip on my shoulder and then I don't really take the advice that people are trying to give me to help me? Ask yourself these questions, because here's the bottom line of what I want you to take from this video. When you become truly teachable, okay, 3 things are going to happen. You're going to become the best version of yourself for yourself. That has to happen before you can even become the best version of yourself for somebody else. If you don't get to a space where you learn y'all know I'm really big about knowing who you are as a person. You got to take care of yourself. That makes you the best version of yourself in order to be the best version for everybody else, right? I can't give the best of me in a relationship if I am not dealing with the things that I need to deal with on a personal level, whether that's work related, whether that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of those things. But you have to become the best version of yourself for yourself. The second thing is, you want to become the best version of yourself for other people, the people you love, the people you care about, the people who are closest to you, right? And again, you get in that space by being teachable, by learning, by listening, and then applying what you learn. Life really, at 42 years old, guys, I, first of all, try not to live my life with regrets. I look back and up until the time that I can remember living and try to look at, everything as a lesson. I look at things and, I've made tons of mistakes in my life, but I look at those things and I really try to apply what worked and what didn't work in order to be the best version of myself for me, but then to be the best version of myself for my daughter, and then whomever, is closest to me. And then lastly, You want to be able to become the best version of yourself in order to be able to fulfill your purpose. Because guess what? If you don't take care of that other stuff, if you don't learn you, if you're not in a receipt mode to be able to learn things for yourself and then to learn things so you can be a better version of yourself for somebody else, how in the world are you going to be all of those things and then be able to live in your purpose? It's almost near impossible. And so you have to tackle being teachable, and teachable means you're willing to learn, you're willing to listen, and also at the end of the day, you're willing to apply everything that you've learned, right? Because what good is knowledge if we're not going to put it to use, right? Many of the topics I come up with, much of what I share with you guys, life experience. It's just the things I go through day to day, the things, yes, it's my sociology background and the textbook knowledge I have and the things I learned, through teaching, but a lot of it is just everyday living. And my goal is to help somebody else get to that space of living a purposeful life. Am I where I want to be? I'm not there 100%, but I can say I'm on the right path, right? I'm headed in the right direction. And for somebody like me, who's a little bit directionally challenged, that's a feat in itself. And so my encouragement to you today, check your attitude, right? But in essence, you're checking how teachable you are. Teachable is an attitude. Check your attitude. How teachable are you? And then think about all the questions that I threw out there. Are you somebody who learns? Are you somebody who listens? And then are you somebody who applies what you've learned throughout your life experience, the day-to-day things, and just in general, because that is what is going to help you to step into your everyday purpose. And so I hope that helps somebody. I'm so excited to wrap this up and put a bow on it. I'm looking forward to the next topics that I come up with. So as always, have a wonderful week or weekend, and I'll see y'all in the next video.